Arranging music, especially if you're a new producer, can be hard and a daunting task. Many of us find ourselves in producing states where we can only produce loops and not turn them into full tracks. This is a completely normal process in the music production world, and if a producer has said they haven't experienced this problem, then they're most likely lying. So in this video, I want to help you solve this problem. I'm Adam, and this is how to arrange music in 2020. So arrangement is quite a big topic, and also has a massive impact on your song. Good arrangement should tell a story whilst also keeping the listener entertained. Now, types of arrangements change due to different genres and styles of music. So today I will be going about the general example of arrangement whilst also showing an example of my own music by building a song from a loop which I've created. Now, these are the 5 most common types of arrangements in music. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Out of these, I prefer style number 5 in most cases, but like I said before, it changes a lot due to genre. You can also create your arrangement styles, which is unique to you. You may use this in most of your songs, and that's great, but be sure to follow the basic rules of arrangement when you do this. For example, you don't want a verse, bridge, chorus, chorus, chorus. You get what I mean. As a basic guideline, always try to have at least 2 verses and choruses in a song. And whilst you're at it, you might as well have an intro, outro, and maybe a breakdown after the first chorus. This is how I go about arranging my music normally. Now let's discuss the lengths of the intros, verses, chorus, etc. Most intros are 4 to 8 bars long. Verses are typically 8 to 16. First chorus is normally around 8 bars, but sometimes a second chorus can be a bit longer, up to 16 bars. And then outros being 4 to 8, similar to the intro. So now you understand the basics of arrangement. Now let's open up a project with a loop I spoke about earlier. So now we've got the project open. I would play the loop, but you've already been listening to the music for the past couple of minutes. So I'm just going to get straight into it. So I normally zoom out, do this by dragging your stuff over and zooming out, control mouse wheel down to zoom out. So yeah, I'm going to put this here for now. So like we said earlier, 4 bars for an intro, 8 to 16 for a verse, and then chorus, and then we'll go from there. So 4, 16 will put us here. Now this is done. I know this is what I want the chorus to be. So I'm going to press Control B, which duplicates it, and drag this over to here. Okay, so now we've done that, we're going to just mark it. So you've got an intro, press Alt T, type intro, and then verse, chorus, then we're going to have breakdown, and then we're going to do 8 bars for the breakdown, and then verse, and then chorus, and then this chorus we're going to double. We're actually going to do a bridge for 8 bars and then into a chorus again, and then outro. So this is our rough structure for the song. Things might change when I go about arranging, but for now this is what I'll stick with. So let's just listen to the loop real quick, and I'll just solo different elements so you can understand my next thoughts. So now you've listened to it, I've got a few ideas with how I want to arrange. So first of all, I don't want there to be any drums before the chorus. So what I'm going to do is copy the massive, which is the pad. So this element we're going to have playing pretty much throughout the whole thing. So we might as well just drag it across the whole thing. We're now going to add underneath it a low pass filter. So I want this track 13 to be grouped with track 12. So right click, group with track above. And now go over to the pad, so I'm using this 1 knob filter. Go to tools, last tweaked, create automation. And we're going to have this gradually come in. So we're just going to get rid of the high frequencies on it to help make the drop a bit more powerful. So now I'm just going to work out how to build up a nice verse and intro into the first chorus. Right, so now I've roughly arranged the song. Everything you see here is from the loop that I've done. So I'll just quickly break it down. The intro has percussion and the pad, and this pad slowly has a low pass filter that comes in and out throughout the whole track. It helps create the tension of the track. We then move into the first verse, which is the introduction to the main bass line, as well as some plucks and percussion. These also gradually fade in from a low pass filter. I'll just quickly mention that this pluck comes in from a reverb dry knob being faded in. So it's nice and smooth. We don't want to do low pass filters for everything because it would just get a bit boring. Basically, in this first verse, we're trying to build up to the first chorus. And we're doing that by only using the elements from the loop. So we're doing the best we can with the stuff we've already got before we start adding other elements to help build the track. So I'll just play the verse. So you can see from the verse into the chorus, the verse builds nicely and then creates enough energy to go into the chorus. But remember, this is just from the loop samples. Obviously, in a real song, you would be adding, or well, the next step after this would be to add more elements to help build that. So the chorus, I'll just quickly mention, the only thing to differentiate them between the first chorus and the second and the third is literally just the flute. I've just removed the flute and that's it. So now onto the breakdown. With this, I've just removed the kick and some other elements just to take away from the chorus. And I've also added a low pass filter onto the pluck. So we'll just give this a listen. So as you hear, the breakdown just slows everything down, just calms it all down into the second verse. We then also use the low pass filters again, just to fade everything off. And then we're greeted to the introduction of the flute. So this, once again, low pass filter, just to help build it. I always like to build the energy and the tension. A good, easy way to do that is low pass filters. So there's not too much difference between this second verse and the first one, apart from the introduction of a flute and some minor percussion changes. I would normally be adding in additional elements to the second verse. It depends how I wanted to go with the song. Maybe some vocals, maybe a piano or some different chords, but I'd introduce some small different elements into this second verse. If we just listen to the second half of it into the second chorus. So the second chorus is obviously the same as the first one, but with the introduction of the flute. Now, I like to break up the chorus from the first and the second part by removing the kick for 4 bars here. That just helps keep the listener entertained, but I would also look to add different elements to the second part of the chorus. The bridge is normally slightly different to everything else in the song, whether chords, progression, or slight melody changes. I haven't touched that here, apart from this different flutes sample, which I'll play in a second. But like I said before, this is just from the loop. We can expand on it later. So I'll just quickly play you the difference in the flute, which is a small change that you'd look to make for a bridge. But it's really up to you at the end of the day. As long as it fits with the song, it shouldn't matter. So that small change would be something that I'd work on for the bridge. Then the third chorus is the same as the second, but a slight difference but with the kick gap. Instead of a whole bar, it is just a quarter missing. So once this is played, it goes to the outro, which is similar to the breakdown. Some elements have basically been taken away from the chorus just to slow the track down to the finish. I always like to add a little gap at the end of a bar, maybe 2 bars, just to finish off the track. Right, so like I said multiple times before, this is an arrangement with just the loop. So obviously from here, you'd want to be adding in different effect samples, different additional elements, just to thicken up the whole track. But the main thing you need to do is keep it interesting, and you want the listener to enjoy it. So as long as the listener is enjoying the track, you as a producer have done a good job. Now this kind of arrangement I would suit to this style of track, but you could also use it for many other styles and genres. But I'd recommend playing around with the arrangement safely, depending on what kind of track you're making. So for example, if it was a trap song, you might be able to fit it into this intro, verse, chorus, breakdown, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, outro arrangement. But you might want to get rid of the outro and the bridge and the third chorus and just have an additional verse and chorus. Go and play around with it and learn for yourself, and then you'll know what songs need what sort of arrangement. I think we'll leave it here for this video. I hope you've learned something from it. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed it enough to subscribe or like, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.